Do you ever feel like your stomach looks like you are 6 months pregnant at 3 p.m., even though your food is on point? You've cut out half of your food list and nothing's working. It's impacting your gym performance, it's impacting your confidence, and you can't even tell if you're making progress in your physique because you're so bloated. If that's you, this video is for you. I promise you're not broken, you're just focused on food instead of how your body is functioning. We see this inside of Beyond Built all of the time. People who are tracking perfectly, hitting their macros, and still experiencing digestive problems. Not because they're doing it wrong, they're just ignoring how digestion actually works. In this video, I'll be breaking down the 5 most surprising reasons you're still bloated, even with the most optimized food logs, and exactly how to fix each one. These aren't just food elimination tips or supplements that I'm going to give you, these are upgrades to your physiology. Reason number 1 is that you're eating in a stressed out state. Maybe you're slamming meals in between meetings, or you're eating in your car from one appointment to the next, or you're just scrolling while you're eating your meal at your desk. Even with the best food choices possible, stress wrecks digestion. The digestive system is parasympathetically dominant. That means that it only works efficiently when the body feels calm and safe. When you're stressed, sympathetic tone or fight or flight takes over, and that causes decreased chewing when you're actually eating your meals, which makes it significantly harder for your body to break down your food. Decreased stomach acid, which leads to your body not being able to digest protein as well. Decreased digestive enzyme output, which also makes it harder for your body to break down food. Decreased gut motility, which means that your food is just gonna sit in your gut for longer and can lead to gas and fermentation and bloating. Or a tightened diaphragm, which can lead to reduced gut-brain signaling and impaired bile flow. Your meal could be perfect on paper, but your body isn't in the state to receive it. This is common for a high performer because they're always on. Their nervous system lives in a productivity loop. Food simply becomes fuel, it doesn't become something to be present with and enjoy. But rushed digestion can lead to poor absorption, inflammation, and downstream hormonal stress. So how do we fix this? We can take 3 to 5 deep, calming breaths before our meal. This stimulates the vagus nerve, which is directly involved in our digestion. This is especially important if you're coming home from a stressful meeting or a stressful commute home or a hard training session. This will bring our body down into a parasympathetic state and get it ready to receive the food. While you are eating, put your phone away and make sure that you turn off all of your notifications. And we want to chew slowly 20 to 30 times. We're aiming for applesauce consistency. Reason number 2 is that you're relying on powders and bars and sweeteners. So you're hitting your macros, but most of your protein is coming from bars and shakes and packaged snacks. Simple, maybe, but your gut hates it. Fitness products often look pretty in terms of macros on paper, but they're often loaded with gut disruptive ingredients, including emulsifiers and gums. These can disrupt the gut lining and trigger an immune response. Or sugar alcohols and artificial sweeteners. These pull water into the gut and can cause gas or loose stools. Or other highly processed ingredients that confuse your gut signaling. Your body doesn't always recognize them as real food, which can disrupt your digestive rhythm and it can cause inflammation. These aren't inherently bad when we use them as needed, but when they replace our whole foods, we're robbing our gut of the good stuff that it needs to thrive. So how we fix this is we stick to 80 to 90% of our food coming from whole food sources, especially our proteins. Think lean meats, fruits and vegetables. When you think of whole food sources, we're going to try and shoot for single ingredient foods. You also want to limit sweetener heavy foods to about 1 time a day max. I know that for me, this was such a hard transition, so wean yourself off over time. Lastly, we want to use protein powders and protein snacks as a tool to help us when we're short on protein and in a pinch, but we're not using it as a foundation of our diet. You might see 30 grams of fiber in your food log, but it's from protein bars or high fiber wraps or keto bread. While getting in enough fiber is important, it's also important to get it in from the right sources. Not all fiber is created equal. Many additives like chicory or inulin or cellulose are highly fermentable, which can feed your gut bacteria a little bit too fast and cause gas and bloating. They're also usually highly processed and used as fillers in these kind of foods, which doesn't tend to sit well with our guts when consumed in excess. Plus, if you've been under eating for a while, your gut's motility and mucosal lining might already be compromised. This would make you even more reactive to these kinds of fibers, even at lower amounts. Getting this kind of fiber is common in busy people because they're looking to hit the numbers and check the box in the simplest way possible. Some people assume that high fiber means that it's healthy and that'll have good digestion, but sometimes that backfires pretty fast. How we fix this is we focus on fiber from real foods, things like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, legumes, nuts, seeds, etc. We also want to shoot to get a mix of both soluble and insoluble fiber. Insoluble fiber is like our internal scrub brush. It adds roughage to the stool, so think of like leafy greens. As you're working up your fiber, make sure that we start slow. The RDA is 14 grams per 1,000 calories that you eat. So if you eat 2,000 calories, the optimal fiber goal to shoot for would be around 28 grams of fiber. However, remember that everyone has their own individual sweet spot. Some people can handle more, some people can handle less. As you're working your fiber goal up, only increase by about 5 grams every time that you bump it up, and make sure that you increase your water with it. Without enough water, that fiber can get stuck in the GI and can lead to you feeling pretty backed up. And lastly, don't rely on fiber supplements unless recommended. They can be a helpful tool, but they should not be your foundation. Reason number 4 is that you eat the same meals on repeat. You eat the same oats and berries for breakfast. You eat the same chicken, rice, and broccoli for lunch. You eat the same steak and potatoes for dinner. Super easy and simple, yes, but not that optimal for the gut. Your gut contains trillions of bacteria, and each of them feed on different things. In fact, a large-scale study from the American Gut Project found that people who ate 30 or more different plant foods per week had significantly greater gut microbial diversity than those who ate 10 or fewer. And higher diversity was strongly correlated with better digestion, less inflammation, and improved overall health. While eating 30 different plant foods in a week would be ideal, it's not always feasible for everybody. The key takeaway is that we want to include multiple different sources in our diet to improve our gut health. If your diet lacks diversity, your microbial population shrinks, you produce fewer digestive enzymes, you're more sensitive to your safe foods over time, and you'll develop more food intolerances and slower motility. Low diversity means low adaptability, which means bloating and irregularity and slow digestion. This one is pretty easy to fix. We just need to rotate our sources weekly. If you bought it last week, don't buy it again this week. The way that I keep this simple is I keep the same meal structure, but I just swap out ingredients. For example, I always have these egg white bites with potatoes in the morning. Some weeks I'll do sweet potatoes, some weeks I'll do gold potatoes, other weeks I'll do russet potatoes. In the egg white bites, sometimes I will do spinach, sometimes I'll do kale, sometimes I'll do other mixed vegetables. You can repeat this method with the same structures of your other meals and keep it very, very simple. If you had broccoli this week, let's have asparagus next week. If you had strawberries this week, let's have raspberries next week. That's how you can keep things very simple, but get in diversity every week. And reason number 5 is that you don't move after your meals. You eat lunch and go straight back to your desk. You eat dinner and plop down on the couch. This might be tempting, but moving after your meals improves GI motility. This is how food moves through the gut. It also improves blood sugar regulation and nutrient partitioning, and it can help with your stomach emptying rate, which can help with bloating or acid reflux. Even 5 minutes after a meal makes a measurable difference. Super easy fix for this. After your meals, just go take a 5 to 10 minute walk. If your time is tight, take your phone with you, get back to messages, respond to clients, whatever you need to do. If you can't get outside, walk around your office, walk around your kitchen, or just march in place. Movement is movement. Bonus if you walk after dinner to help with overnight bloating and digestive issues. You're not bloated because your food is bad, you're bloated because your body can't use it properly. When you fix your digestion, you absorb more nutrients, you drop inflammation, and you finally see the physique that you've been working for. Subscribe if you want more videos on how to connect internal function with physique transformation, and I'll see you in the next video.